For him, peace was all to it. You know, they almost took his life, you know, and he used his own personal money. He tried to disarm, he disarmed, not tried to, so many child soldiers, you know, uh, that some of these politicians walking around put guns into their hands, including drugs. And it was this same president who fought, you know, to liberate the minds, you know, from all these different destructions. So recently, the president was in the U.S. in Washington D.C. And there he called on Liberians, you know, to do all they can, all within the region, you know, so that they can retain the peace of the Republic of Liberia. And let me just read this quote that came from the president. He said, when I was in opposition, this is President Weah speaking. He said, when I was in opposition, I respected the government and accepted to be a peace ambassador for that regime. Can you imagine? And that he was talking when he worked as peace ambassador under, you know, the past government, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. According to the president, he said, look, what I'm seeing or what I see or hear every day from opposition. And in fact, this meeting, he called this meeting for everyone to attend. And unfortunately, 99.99% of the opposition in the diaspora didn't go because they have preconceived notion that the meeting was only, you know, for seditions alone. And they have this thing. Even when Ellen was in power, if she arrived in, I remember she arrived in Philly, all of us went there. I didn't like her policies and all of that, but it was the president of my country, the Republic of Liberia. So we all, you know, gathered in droves and we went to New York. And after New York, she said, y'all come meet me in Philadelphia. And we have the photo there. It was, we came from the Grand Jury Association. I remember you had about, I think, 9 or 13 of our brothers then were in prison, you know, by her security person. And this lawyer, Gunglo, then he was pro bono for us, helping to secure the release of these Grangidians. And in spite of all of that, you know, we still, you know, went out there, you know, to meet. We still went out there to meet with our leader because why? You know, we do not fight to do our dirty laundry up in public. But what happened to the CDC in 2005, 2010 was enough reason, you know, the president said, to protest. Because you know the story of 2005 and 2010. But instead, the president said that they kept the calm, you know, nothing, and they became so peaceful because Liberia at the time and now is all that matters. Imagine the president of the republic telling you this, that when we were in opposition, we behaved responsibly. We were not walking all over the place saying we're doing protests to say we tired suffering. How can men like Louis Brown say he tired suffering? You know, how can Yeke Koluba say he tired suffering? He gets a check of almost 10K minus, you know, brown envelopes and whatever. How can Alexander come and say he tired suffering? So you see, how do I call it, an oxymoron? You know, it's like trying to say the ice is hot. You know, the rich man or the Coca-Cola mogul is poor. How? You know, those two things, when you juxtapose them, you put them side by side, they do not, you know, go together. And so the president was saying, he emphasized that, you know, the opposition community, the acts that you know, they carry out all of these daily acts that has the propensity of derailing the heart and peace in Liberia. And the president, based upon that, that's why he kept, you know, insisting, to the point where they're even convincing some pastors, you know, to have this kind of language that, incendiary language that will cause chaos in the country. And nothing can move forward in this country, you know, outside peace. And we're going to be discussing, the peace dialogue uh, that was held yesterday at the Chinese embassy. It was, I mean, so beautiful to see and hear our partners, what they think, and how they think we should behave, and how they see Liberia 20 plus years uninterrupted peace. And for them, they see what happened in July and a few other stuff, and the language now that no, they say no, we can't sit back. And I like it's like, prevention, before cure. And so, President Weah's comments come amidst, the plan by, these opposition community, to stage or demonstrate or protest or rally, whatever they call that, on tomorrow, December 17th, Saturday. And, I feel so bad because uh, I saw a couple of flyers. There was this flyer I saw with, young women trying to stage their business, and they were to launch this business tomorrow, December 17th. There's so many stuff, that's to happen. And mind you, December 17th is just 8 days to Christmas. 8 days to Christmas. Imagine what can go wrong as Christians, the love we have for Christmas. The child suffer, work hard, the parent work hard all through the week, and at the end of the year, they want to put a smile on the child's face, on their children's face. But guess what? One man, because of his love for power, greed, ego at a very, very high zenith, decides, no, I will make this, the end of this year look hot for you guys. Because something can go wrong. It might not be you that's planning this protest, but people could infiltrate. You know, some thief or bad guy could get up and infiltrate the protest or the rally or whatever you call it, and then something goes wrong. Then what? What are you going to say? Because if you look at that, first, Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall and he fell. The whole world came crashing down in the sense that Unity Party folks said, no, we're not suffering. So we in our private jets, so it will not look good. We flying all over the place here in Nigeria in private jets. We drinking juice, although we say President Weah, shouldn't be in private jet, but we double down, we're flying private jet. We don't even know the man who sent the private jet, where he come from, where he not come from. They jump in, flying all over. These are the people who are asking you. And I want you, if you're in the car driving, some of you got this hard thing. Oh, Joe, we had this, that, we're disappointed in the man, this, that, because it is the narrative, the peddling, again, these lies. And I will go through a litany. They have a bucket list. They say we have to achieve all of this. And when you do a bucket list, it's something that you do more for yourself, so that your future, you say, oh, I got a bucket list. One of them is to go visit Patawi, waterfall. Another thing on my bucket list is to maybe, drink a whole bottle of King Juice one day, or something like that. But that's not what their bucket list is. Their bucket list is, we will lie until we see this country or this particular regime goes down to the drain. They've tried it. The highest they've gone was this 16 billion lie. And so that's what they've done. And these kids decide to have their event on this coming Saturday. Guess what? They will not. Something they've planned almost close to a year. A guy comes out because the love for power. And the good news is, I respect this president and I respect our justice minister. They said, no, it is their right. Let's give them the permit so that they can go and do whatever rally. Maybe they can go rally and protest, whatever. But we would tell them that there are rules because festive season, you cannot impede the movement. So basically, if they're rallying Saturday, you have to stay home because you're not going to stop the people from crossing across SKD, and even in them getting to the rally, you know, the time they decide to stay there. Why, if they're having some provocative style of rallying, jumping in front of people's vehicles, or thieves, try to go through them and snatch people's stuff, and something goes wrong. We're even hearing that 70,000 United States dollars were given, to pay certain people to come out, and this money, the person absconded with this money, uh, in cahoot with one of their leaders, and they have already shared the money, and they've been looking for this guy, all through last night, and we're also hearing that they found the guy, and some of the money was, taken out, and the guy is saying he's calling some big fish that behind that. So you see the level of dishonesty among these guys. Imagine if they have power, if, and I'm saying hypothetically, if, and God forbid, what the Nigerians in the Nigerian movie, they will say, abomination or something they say when they put their hands around them. If they took power, the protests didn't even start yet, they have started to steal among themselves. These are the people. These are the people. And so the president, he said that, you say you're tired of suffering, and you calling on the, President Weah and his entire government attention, you say that, what did they say? The growing wave of sufferings. Can you imagine the language? That's what the phrase, the coin in their narrative, the growing wave of suffering, extreme hardship, societal ills, and bad governance that the vast majority of the citizens are encountering. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that? These are the people you look within the ranks and file. These are the people who were shooting people literally because they didn't look like them during the war. They were chopping people's necks off. They were yanking fetuses out of babies, out of mother's womb. These are the people who were saying extreme hardship, societal ills, bad governance, and the vast majority of the citizens are encountering all of this. So we're tired of suffering. You're tired of suffering, but you have 70,000 United States dollars to share to the different heads. 70,000. Let me do the math and see what 70,000 United States dollars is in Liberian currency. Hold on 1 second, guys. Let me calculate. That's 70. 1, 2, 3 times 150 Liberian dollars. So you're talking about 70,000 will be, is it 10? Yeah, 10,500,000 Liberian dollars. That would be equivalent to that. Maybe a little bit more, but that would be. And you know what that money can do? So on Saturday, the money, and that's only to pay these heads, and this money might not even trickle down to the ordinary guy who's coming out there to protest. You might go out there tomorrow, you might not be able to drink water. There will be a vast amount of people who are going just to observe, to see what's going to happen. Let's see what tomorrow. And so, literally, these guys are saying that after tomorrow, Saturday, December 17th, you're going to wake up on the 18th morning, and Santa going to come right to your house, even if you were nutty or not nutty, and everything's going to be fine. They will spend not less than $500,000 United States dollars tomorrow. according to information and someone close within their files and rank. They are going to spend a whooping, because minus the 70K that they tried to share among people that almost got stolen and they took a chunk of it out, that money is not the money that they pay to other civil society heads, corrupt civil society heads that they want to be a part. You know, they can say, okay, well, yeah, I'll just take the money, I'll be a part for now, and tomorrow I'm not, I'll be against. You know, so this is how Cummings wants to get to the higher office. He wants to lie and buy his way up to that office. You know, and you're talking that amount of money. They have already set money aside to convince or bribe these other society civil society groups. They have to pay for bodyguards and all of that. So if you were ready, you know, saying that you're tired, suffering, extreme hardship, you know, bad governance, and the vast, you remember they used to say, you know, Liberia hard, and go now in the streets of Monrovia. You can sleep in the morning, you wake up, and nobody do nothing to you. That's how safe our country has become, you know. But then the Liberian leader, he said, look, we have a responsibility to protect our country. And that's what I love about Kuba. He said, we have to protect this country, our heritage, and it can only be done, when our country is peaceful. That's the only way. In order for you to become president of the Republic of Liberia, you cannot break down the very fabric or the very people that you want to, be head of. If someone dies tomorrow at that protest, then what? What are they going to say? Imagine people who are wearing bulletproof vests all over the place. The last